Alrighty. What's going on, people? How we doing? Why is this camera so blurry, huh? I gotta fix that. I don't have a nice cloth. Let me see what we can do here. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now we're not so blurry, huh? Wow, you guys are liking things up already. Thanks. Hey, thanks. What's going on? What's up there? I see somebody saying hey already. K style. Nas, we're doing well. I know I have the TikTok phone is slightly within view here over for you guys. One, the YouTube, but I'm sure you'll be all right with that. Not too many people just yet, so we'll build it up. Build her up, obviously. Whew. For those health questions, put them down below. Kinda. I mean, I basically run through all health questions. Sometimes they do need a little bit more attention in terms of, you know, testing and things like that. But head pressure only in the middle of the head, also dizziness. I mean, you want to start by looking at deficiencies here. Make sure you have enough minerals coming into the system. Things like electrolytes are going to be huge. You could do like an Ultima powder, Ultima electrolyte powder. They taste fantastic. And we'll just give you a good blend of things in there potassium and magnesium, sodium, um, and watching the inflammatory food, to be quite honest. But you can have headaches for so many reasons. You can have headaches from just staring at your phone all day. So, you know, is hydration and minerals the only thing that could lead to a headache? Hell no. You could have so many different things. Um, shit, I keep forgetting to shut the door here. Sorry. Okay. Boom. There we go. Shoulders popping like crazy, huh? And like two or three noises just go crazy. All right. What the hell are we doing here? Do, do, do. If it's a health question, ask away. Which power? I don't know what you're talking about there. If you mean powder, they have an electrolyte powder, Ultima, like Ultimate, but Ultima. It's a good one. I forget that some of you guys are not in America, so it's like some of the names and terms of these things are a little crazy. But hey, we'll do what we can, huh? Ultima, like ultimate, how you'd spell ultimate, but Ultima. Jeez. Um, am I okay? Yes, we're doing great. No, Ultima. Kind of off. I had weird gut issues. My doc found that it was because of vitamins like magnesium. Yeah, I mean, there's way more to pay attention to, but I mean, if that was a big solution for the majority of the issues, that's great. That's great. Usually, what I'm seeing, the cases I see are not simple stuff. The cases I see are like people with autoimmunity, cancer, childhood behavioral disorders, things that people go to a million different specialists to don't get answers with, which I really wish it was the other way around because really the foundational framework of thinking is, well, if we just identify what mental, chemical, physical stressors are occurring for that individual and get comprehensive labs done to show what kind of responses is happening in the body, now you know how to support with nutritional things or lifestyle things or supplementation to work on that inflammatory response, possible deficiencies, toxicity that can occur. So, yeah, that's kind of the framework. And obviously, all from a natural point of view. Nothing I'm going to be using is medication based or anything. So, um, yes, pretty cool. Plants are cool, you know? I'm going to drink them, and my blood pressure was high. Um, I would wonder how much you're drinking in a day. You got to hydrate. Yeah, I would look at the sourcing of where that came from too. So you could have just had an allergic response to some of the ingredients in there. Entirely possible, and I've seen that. So anybody can react to anything. Yeah, I would wonder what the sourcing was like. Um, Probably had an ingredient in there that didn't agree with you too much. So could totally be why. Could totally be why. Are vitamins necessary? I mean, if you have your nutrition down on lock and you're not stressed out mentally and you have zero chemical stressors, so you don't eat any food or drink any water or breathe any air, um, which we all do, and you're physically optimal too. So I've never seen anybody that has all three of those things completely checked off. And from a nutrition standpoint, just because it's what you can't get through the diet, that's where you want to supplement with something. So if somebody's lacking some vitamins, the first direction is, hey, let's find the food sources for this thing. And if you're not going to eat the damn food, like people don't consume liver organs every day, um, I tell people to eat 3, 4 tablespoons of sauerkraut a day, and they don't do that because it tastes gross. So it depends. OCD, there's a lot of chemical connections with OCD and the GI, just because your gut it makes the majority of the neurotransmitters for the brain. So yeah, that's where I start looking at things, and you get good results when you look at the causes of why that's happening. Berberine not in isolation. Berberine can be a good thing, but you want it in the full spectrum food. So getting it from Oregon grape, best medicinal herb to get that berberine constituent from, and that's the way you should be taking those things in. So link is in bio for the Oregon grape. Um, but yeah, you might be a little deficient there, and berberine's going to help a lot when it comes to mitochondria and how they handle glucose. So you are having a direct effect at the mitochondrial level. Plus, you're helping with protein breakdown, fat breakdown. You're stimulating the liver. You're going to help, like I said, a ton with excess sugars. And there's other good things that go on too with having antimicrobial aspects. Even when people have things like psoriasis, stuff like that, you can use them topically. But yeah, there's a lot of use cases for that one. Um, but yeah, good question, though. Wanted to gain some weight, but I got side effects from vitamins. I hope I won't lose weight because of the something. Yeah, it's not how vitamins work. I'd be curious where you're getting those from. Vitamins don't force the body to do things, and you're either very deficient in something, very toxic in something, or you're taking in a bad supplement. Ooh, urinary frequency and urgency for 5 weeks now. UA and cultures are negative. From Megan. I mean, there can be some issues with kidney filtration, or even with some secondary things that can throw off the parathyroid. That's totally possible too. If we're not having proper influx and movement of calcium throughout the body, or just deficient in things, and having to pump out a lot more communication with the brain there, you can probably get a CMP done. I would love to see that. And I'm glad that nothing showed up in the UA. Um, there's a lot to do with mold too in the body. Having yeast or having mold, you're gonna pee like crazy. Also, if you switched up your coffee recently, are you doing any electrolytes? What are other symptomatology that's come along with that too? So I don't think it's anything big, but you can get things squared away. My T3 is a 2. That is way too low. So if the thyroid gland is being thrown off there, the parathyroid sits right on top of that. There can be some reaction going on there with just having a deficiency, and now that's having an effect on bone metabolism. So you could do some thyroid glandular, a little bit of iodine and selenium, so you can get building blocks for T3 and T4. You can have a lot of the cofactors and enzymes that come within the liver and the thyroid glandular tissue. So again, thyroid glandular, and then iodine with kelp, that's a liquid, and then bioactive selenium, that's a capsule. That we could at least start working on the building blocks for those things. Um, but I would want to see that CMP, because just because something was in range doesn't mean we shouldn't pay attention to it, even if it's 1 point away from being high. So look at BUN, look at creatinine, look at calcium, look at all those things. But for Megan, I do free phone calls as well. So book a complimentary call. And if it is something bigger than we thought, then we'd want to start up care. Feel free to give us a MOA. Hello, Wilma. All right, Alexia Rose getting booted from the chat. You have possible IC? Did you mean UC? Oh, interstitial cystitis, possibly. Um, that would make a lot of sense, because if you are deficient in things like iodine, you're going to have a lot of trouble with fibrous tissue in excess. So women will see breast tenderness, cyst formation, um, endometriosis, PCOS, things like that. If that's more of an immune system problem, I would be curious to run antibodies along with the thyroid markers there, because your antibodies are probably high, which means you have autoimmunity, and then we have to find the immune triggers. So that is probably what's going on, just based on all the cases I've seen. That's very, very common. Um, but just because you have autoimmunity doesn't mean you can't do anything. But yes, I would say, like with the iodine thing, I would want to see the rest of that blood work and make dosing recs off that. I would want to know your weight. Your weight's going to play a role in that too. But normal standard iodine dosing is like so low. It is way too low. If your T3 is that low, it's been low for over 3 months now. So not good, not good. And you're just starting to feel the effects. So your body's amazing. We just got to get that sucker back on the horse. So yeah, I would start with some building blocks, cover some deficiencies there. And then I would want to talk to you on the phone, help getting inflammation down, and just helping your liver and all these things do their normal conversions and things. So sounds like there's a little bit of an immune response here too. What multivitamin? None of them. Multivitamins are terrible. Um, a different option would be something like an immune glandular. Something I have on the shelf there that has liver, has spleen, and thymus tissue in there. So especially with somebody with autoimmunity, you want to make sure you're getting thymus in through the diet regularly. I don't imagine many people are going to eat thymus at all, because it's very gross. So we put it in a capsule there, grass fed and finished, all the good stuff from New Zealand, all the things. Um, But that way you can mature some of the T cells, get some T cell regulation just by doing that nutritionally, and some Romania, some ashwagandha in the meantime. But we got to order some more lab work here. Can't just do a multivitamin for somebody with autoimmunity and way a lot of stuff going on there. There's plenty we can do though. Thanks for the help. You welcome. GLP-1s safe with a history of SIBO? I don't know if any of them are safe. They all have negative side effects, right? So that kind of throws that out. Hey guys. All right. Angie, get the fuck out of here. Bots trying to promote their shit. Go live, dude. Go live. It's like you're using me to mooch off. Get the hell out of here. Okie dokie. We got another autoimmune question. Vivian's mom have lupus, Sjogren's, but now anti-thyroid. Ooh, can do to help. Again, autoimmune reaction. So we would want to look at something like food allergies. I would want to do probably an oats test on you too, so that we could see microbial involvement. We can look at some nutritional deficiencies there, get a good idea of what food allergies are triggering the immune responses, even if they're healthy foods. That way you can have a great idea of deficiency, toxicity, and then how to control your food. And that's what I mean by testing. That basically gives you guys control over your own body. Obviously, with the oats and food tests there, it's going to show us a lot on the immune system and the GI and how to start regulating and supporting those organs with different things, depending on if we need gallbladder, more protein breakdowns, excess sugars. It could show a lot. But similar to our friend, you could do some immune glandular. I'd like to see you do some turmeric, cat's claw, Japanese knotweed, and Romania. That way, we're supporting the adrenals there and helping a lot with really inflammatory pathways, helping convert those things down, using the liver a bunch. But we got to do some additional labs and stick with those couple supplements there. But link is in bio. If I went too quick, you can always send me a message on here too. On YouTube, you obviously can't do that. So for anybody though, complimentary calls, link in bio, or you can jump right to the new patient appointment, which during these lives, I slice the price by 200 bucks, by the way. Because you guys are special, you know? Roberto, get out of here. What what kind of question is that? Um, Roberto needs relationship. I don't. This is not. This is not it, brother. Emma, positive ANA. Is that from psoriasis and eczema? You're autoimmune. Immune system's going crazy. ANA doesn't tell you much at all. And eczema, psoriasis, those are autoimmune issues. So, chicken or the egg, it's basically a combination of different stressors that we all interact with from a chemical, mental, physical perspective. I think vaccines have a lot to do with it. So, yeah, because usually all that stuff starts right after one of those. So, ooh, also pre-diabetics who we want to pay attention to some sugar things there. You can do a lot of fermentable and pickled fiber type things. So something like sauerkraut. That way you get good healthy sugars in there because believe it or not, sauerkraut is sugar. It's just a really long chain sugar. So it takes a lot longer to break down. It will not bring up insulin, and does so much. There's so much vitamin C in there. There's a lot of methyl donors. Uh, so people that are like, I have the MTHFR gene. It's like, eat eggs, bro. Get methyl donors. Freaking Gary Brecka made you spend 600 goddamn dollars on a test that tells you need to freaking eat methyl donors. You know, these are just my frustrations, I guess. Anyways, Not to be crabby, not to be crabby. We're gonna turn it around. I swear. Oh shit! Almost spilled my drink everywhere. Okay. Yeah, the pre-diabetic thing. You want to get sugars down. Doing good fermentable fibers that way. I think lemons and limes. You can cut up some of those and blend them completely. That way you get great. So not so fewer faint constituents, but a lot of constituents that are going to help with oxidation and glucose handling, as well as blood vessels and things like that. And the amount of cosmetic benefits you can have by just taking in a lemon and a lime, not just the juice. I mean, the pulp, the pith, the seed, blend it all. Do not skip on anything because it all makes a big difference. So, yeah, what else? Gymnema, Oregon grape, fantastic for handling sugars too. Liposomal vitamin C, just eat adrenal glands or eat sauerkraut. Liposomal just means there's a fat group on it. They're just trying to sell you shit. Um, yes, lots to write down. Totally. If you send me a message, I can make it easier to write down. I'm trying to go quick enough here, but not too quick that you guys are like, what is this man saying? So we're going to find a nice pace and make sure we get to y'all. Nice, Emma. Put a smile on my face. Stress really exacerbates it. It will. It will. Stress will affect the whole body, and that's how your body works. That's how your body works with anything, actually. If you stub your damn toe, your heart rate's going to change, blood pressure, digestion, hormones. I say this all the time. You can just put 3 pebbles in your shoe, and if you're not allowed to take those shoes off, and you got to walk around on them all day, guess what? That's stress. That's a physical stress now causing chemical and mental changes in the freaking body. Wow. You all knew that too. You all know how annoying a pebble in your shoe is. So, where is the pebble in your shoe in regards to food allergies, lifestyle things, air quality, food quality, all that? Um, and currently, the state of the body in which you're trying to get out or don't have enough of, how inflamed you are, all that stuff. Needless to say, stress will impact the immune system, the GI, blood pressure, all those things, and in a suppressful way. So you will suppress immune responses, you will suppress stomach acid, things like that, that kill off microbes and allow you to deal with a bunch of these buggers that end up overgrowing and then leading to autoimmune responses. So, my goodness. But yeah, there's some testing options that we could look at there. Obviously, we want to work within everybody's budget there and not go too crazy. So, let me know. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, these are scrolling pretty quick. Somebody says, answer me, but no other context or question above it. You guys are so demanding, huh? I look sophisticated. Thanks. Wait till the blue light glasses come in. I'm gonna look like a librarian or something. I don't know. Okay. What else? Lovely berries. We are here for health questions, so ask away. Why would somebody wake up every 2 hours at night? How could I fix this? There can be a couple things. First thing, there's probably some cortisol involvement or something to do with our liver here. Very common. I think an initial step there, you just basically getting either um, cortisol or your sugar's rising too early in the night. So either the sugar's rising too early in the night, letting cortisol come up, or there's an adrenal issue with cortisol coming up, and now you're waking up either way. So those are the two things I'm thinking of. You can do something like olive oil, avocado oil before bed. It's like a probably a tablespoon of that, at least a teaspoon. That way, that fatty acid is going to hold a nice cortisol rhythm throughout the night. There, I do like people doing something like alcidonia. I know that's another really weird word name for sup that we're talking about. But alcidonia, ALCEDONIA, that has GABA in there. that has L-theanine, that has passion flower, that has B6, all the most common things that you could do essentially aside from melatonin, just because melatonin can push the liver a little bit more and create a very similar issue early on, but obviously later that's something you could do. But right now, getting a fatty acid in before bed, doing some alcidonia 2 hours before bed, making sure you are not eating 4 hours before sleeping. That is a huge one. That could definitely be the sole reason why this is happening. And I would want to know where your stress is at and how much freaking sugar you're eating in a day. I would start there. Okay. You're very welcome. Oh my God. What is going on here? He's speaking so much. Sorry. Stress is high, small amounts of sugars. Interesting. Um, okay. I still like the Alcidonia there. I still like the avocado or olive oil at night before bed, right before bed. Um, so yeah, Alcidonia and that. And you could probably do probably a liquid herb that's going to affect you immediately and help with some of that cortisol reduction there too. So I would just play it safe. Do something like California poppy. So California poppy, Alcidonia, snag those two. Try the fats before the bed. Try not eating crazy, crazy late, but California poppy will get you through a lot. Yeah, you want to try a couple of those things, but Emma says her doc has her on Alcidonia in the morning because you probably need it, Miss Emma, based on the adrenal hormones I saw. So enough coffee or riot energy drinks to get any kind of energy. What do you think? Hmm. I want you to wait before you're taking caffeine in the morning, first of all, because that can lead to a huge issue with the adenosine receptors later on in the day. So 90 minutes before any caffeine, there is probably some adrenal regulation off here. I would wonder when you're going to bed. That is a huge key point here. When you're going to bed, when you're waking up, what you're doing when you're waking up, because you should try to get sunlight in your eyes and get caffeine delayed. I would also wonder the type of caffeine that you're doing, where you're getting that coffee from, because a lot of it is contaminated with mold and pesticides and all this other crap that makes you feel like crap. So, Equip Foods, one of my favorites. I use all their protein. I use all their coffee. That's basically the two things I use from them. But love it, absolutely love it. So, oh no, wouldn't it make me tired though? Well, we are just starting this journey, right? And it's going to take you a while. It's going to take several months to get an issue that's gone on for 2.5 decades to start to regulate. So I don't know how much you're taking. That dosage depends a lot on that. Um, and no, it wouldn't make you tired. It would regulate you. Um, it's you can't force the body to do things with a supplement. Doing constituents like that is going to help bring your tone down. If you want to really think general here, you either tone people up or tone them down. That's kind of like the very, very basics of it. So we want to meet back in homeostasis in the middle where your body can adapt its best. And if you're in fight or flight all the time, if we could tamper down a little bit, we can glide in a nice, smooth path there. Okey-doke. Wow, go to bed at 9, wake up at 5. Dang, I usually drink bulletproof. What the hell? Doing everything right, Miss Kelly. What's gone on? What has gone on here? Have you There's something. There's something. How much have you been working? How much have you been working? Is this around your cycle? Did you break up with a boyfriend? How long are you friggin' going without eating in the morning? I got to know some more things here. There's been something that happened. So, or unless it was small stressors that caught up over time, but you know, there's a couple ideas I have. I just want to get a couple more details from you. I just got off quadruple treatment for H. pylori, throat tightness here and there. So your body's been through a lot. Your body's been through a lot. I think relaxing some smooth muscle, getting you out of fight or flight, just helping replenish some things enzymatically. From an immune standpoint, you could do some chaga mushroom, have a lot of beta glucans in there to replenish the GI. Chicory root inulin, both of those are capsules, probably some digestive glandular and megabiotic. Really just to do some repair work here. So I'm not trying to move anything out of you. We're just repairing. Because obviously coming back from something like that is pretty intense. But this would look like increase in stomach acid a little bit in the future here so that none of that comes back. Because it could totally come back, especially once your berries are depleted from all those antibiotics. Didn't nobody told you that, huh? All right. I'm doing well, guys. Um, what is the difference between chocolate? Oh my goodness. That is funny. Stupid freaking dad jokes on YouTube. I don't know if that was a dad joke, but it was funny. Okay. What do we got? Did I answer that one? Yes. The rosacea. Well, yeah. What do you think creates that red color with rosacea? It's a histamine. It's a inflammatory response. So it gets red, it gets hot, inflamed. Um, and those are inflammatory signs. Usually, you got to look at autoimmune triggers. That's the big key. Getting vitamin D to be 70s, 80s, depending on who you are. Getting sugar down is going to be great. Fiber, proteins, all the same stuff, but probably doing a Dutch test and probably an oats test, to be honest. Because if your adrenals are not um, prepared to bring some of that cortisol into cortisone or they're downregulated, you can feel terrible for one thing. And then if you have microbial overgrowth in the form of bacteria, yeast, things like that, or other forms of toxicity in there, then your immune system's gonna respond like all hell. There can be food allergies here too. There can be mold. There can be a lot of stuff. We just got to find a starting point for Miss Nanya business. Early on, supporters obviously getting inflammation down. Doing, I would say by far, albizia and turmeric are your biggest friends right now. And I would want to know where other symptoms lie too, whether it be GI, hormone related, some other things there. So that'll help us build a bit of a picture for you. Or for me, I guess. Either way. How has it been 41 minutes, dude? That is crazy. Systemic lupus, hypothyroidism. Don't stress much. I love my job, but I feel better when I don't eat. So, autoimmune thyroid scenario again. Um, you do have to look into the GI, and you probably feel better when you don't eat because the things that you are consuming are creating immune responses. Or even if you're eating all the healthy stuff, you can still have allergic reactions to that. People don't realize that. Um, so there's one thing. There's food allergies we could look for. Obviously, I want to know vitamin D is so huge, guys. Vitamin D is so huge. Um, and I'm not talking like just checking for it. I'm talking making that thing in the 70s, 80s, like proper dose and all that stuff, because you're going to regulate a lot of T regulatory cells with that. I like medicinal mushrooms here too. I like reishi mushroom. I like probably some thyroid glandular in the meantime so that we can get you some constituents. I'd wonder if there's medications involved. There probably is. In that case, supporting the liver is going to help a ton. Turmeric, getting inflammation down. So that's step one. that is step one. But you can't only do step one, because then long term things will just slowly start to trickle back. So what that would kind of look like is figuring out the inflammatory triggers, getting that response down, and then working on removing some of those things from the body, and then building you back up and retesting those exact same labs. So that is what we do, and you want to get them back to normal. So is eating seeds and beans for people with arthritis and uh, rheumatoid. I mean, maybe, maybe because you could. I've had people allergic to broccoli. I've had people allergic to avocados and have ulcerative colitis attacks from those things. So it depends. There's no hard and fast rules. Can you benefit from reducing sugar? Probably most of the time, yeah. Especially if your name is Paul and you're a guy. That's pretty common. Not the Paul name, but being a guy. And boswellia, turmeric, good constituents to help with those immune responses occurring at the joint level. And then I like some bone broth protein powder actually in there from chicken and beef ground up, because you're going to get all that to build your bones with. So, you know, there's even um, mycoplasma infections that can hide within joints, and now that's a whole different clinical picture. Now that's Japanese knotweed and cat's claw and different things. So, you know, kind of a big question there, but gave you some stuff. So, doke. Let's see where we were here. I think. Okay, we handled rosacea. Hypo. Hey, is. I have no idea, Rom. Just feel inflamed 24/7. Well, that's step one. That is step one, reducing the inflammation. So, but for if you guys need one on ones too, first call, complimentary. Click on the link in bio, or if you just want to order the stuff I said, dip your toes in the water, see if I'm for real. And once you start to get results, man, you'll be coming back to the live. So, um, but yes, I always like, even if you are just trying to get stuff to take and have a couple easy recs there, I still like to talk to you because it can give me some details that I was not expecting. And that's most of the time, because usually when the call is about to end, patients go, by the way, and then drop this bombshell. And it's like, what? Why didn't you say this on our first 10 minutes or whatever? But yeah. Or you can jump right to a new patient appointment too. Save you 200 bucks. Jump right in there. I'll send you all the paperwork and take us through a new patient appointment. Figure out what labs we need to do, and then go over those labs and develop a game plan so that we can structure that, hit a retest day, and then be done with care. That's the whole purpose of this care, is not to be in our care at the Wellness Way. So, yeah, cool. Are you Jewish? No. No. Got Jesus. Okey doke. People jumping in. Let's get back down here. Lambie. Hi. How are you? Oh my goodness. How'd you type that, Miss Cardi? I'm just kidding. If you actually broke both your arms, there's plenty you could do. Long term support wise, bone broth protein. Make sure you're doing enough vitamin D3 and K2 there, because K2 is going to pull calcium into the bone. So, really important thing to do there. Um, you know, I do like astragalus here. I do like boswellia here, just for healing process and stem cell production. Um, I would start there. The only thing is, how are you gonna scoop your protein when you don't have any arms, dude? Well, I guess you have arms, but for Summer Kelly asking about scheduling, you should be able to. Actually, Summer, you'd be a good test for this. If you go to my profile, click on me in there, and then there should be a website link, and that should take you to my online store, and there'll be a contact button, and that will give you the option to either A, book a free call, or two, B, whatever, book a discounted new patient appointment. So you can do either um, or people that are just trying to order stuff. That's same link, same website, same all this stuff. I'm trying to make her pretty and do all the fancy stuff on the back end right now, which is fun. Probably not things you guys want to hear, but yeah. Thoughts on TRT and GLP-1 together? No comment. That's my answer. Ah, you got a brother helping you out. Good. I imagine you're, using voice text there. So no, I do not code. What the heck are you talking about? Oh, maybe the question about, or the thing I said about the website. Why are my ketones 150? You got a lot going on, my friend, and your body's in ketosis. Your body's doing everything it can to run on whatever fuel source that it has. Um, I don't know if you're eating enough. I don't know if you're hydrating enough because and from what you told me, there's an infection there too. So yeah, there's a lot that your body's trying to do and handle, but we'll figure you out, my friend. You look Sumbai? What the heck is that, dude? Where is Sumbai? I usually have my computer in front of me to freaking look up the crazy shit that you guys tell me half the time. Um, Half the time it's actors you guys think I look like. I actually posted a video on that. Made a good clip, so thank you. Thank you. Um, got some laughs. Oh boy, Sumbai means cute. Yep. Well, we're here giving out health advice. And that's what I'm doing. So, but yes, YouTube chats or YouTube page growing like crazy. For the TikTokers, I know I haven't posted on my TikTok in a while, but I have been posting. It's just been from my office account. So, started an office account there. In the meantime, I go live on here because we can put the website link in there, help everybody. So, trying to do our best. But Miss Summer, you didn't let us know if the stinking link worked. Ooh, you saw the other account. How'd you find me? Coos? What is that? What is a coos? Okie doke. Nunya. She mentions more. Okie doke. So we know about the rosacea here. Shit. Guys, commenting. Perimenopause is causing all kinds of crazy symptoms: red face, overthinking, ADHD, anxiety. Well, your estrogens are getting low. So you have more than one estrogen. And if there's an issue with production and you're having all those other symptoms, that means you had in the past, and you still do, you had an issue with conversion. And now you have an issue with production and conversion. So you're feeling it to to max extent now. Obviously, estrogens have a lot to do with calming T helper cells down and regulating even some of the immune cells. So that is a real thing. It is not a made up thing that you're coming in with. That's real. That perimenopause can lead to way worse things. Um, you know, I know I gave you some stuff there, reduce inflammatory things and stuff. Um, there's good ways you could build up with nutritional things. Something like female glandular, that where you're getting uterus tissue, ovaries, liver tissue all within a capsule there. I don't expect you to eat those things, but it is still nutrition. It's just really concentrated forms of it. And something like black cohosh that will sensitize estrogen receptors like crazy, but I don't know how long the list is that I'm already giving you. So for Nunya, yeah, the brain fog, things like that, can't keep a straight thought. You might have some dopamine that's getting low there too. Really common to see with all the other things. So I don't want to keep giving you more and more and more. I would want to speak to you first. So you can do some albesia, some turmeric, black cohosh, things I mentioned earlier. But how you figure out the problems is doing Dutch tests, figuring out the food, maybe doing some blood work, maybe doing a notes, looking at microbes and things. So if you need labs done, let me know. Or if you don't know what ones to get, let me know. Thoughts on taking Flora GC, niacinamide, Active B complex, vital protein beef liver, and Mag Ascorba. You don't want anything from ascorbic. Um, you don't want any generalized GI protocols. You don't want um, something like niacin in your case. I don't really see fit there at all. With the B vitamins, you could do organ meats. You'll get enough there. Um, but yeah, this is. I kind of forget your first comment, so I don't really know what I was saying there earlier. There's a lot that goes on during these lives. So just call me, dude. Call me. Freaking book a call. It's free. We'll go over stuff. Some of those things could be good. Some you could have a freaking reaction to beef, and I don't know. Now the beef protein that you're doing is creating a whole freaking response that's taking us backwards. So it's hard to guess. It's really hard to guess on here, but yeah. Um, we need to find answers for you guys, and the only way to find answers is through labs. Um, and yeah, that I know it's annoying. I know it's annoying. I keep saying that, but behavior change and getting the right testing done and product support, all that. Okay. Okay. Um, Subject here. Shouldn't that be in the title of the live for crying out loud? Okay. No relevant things on YouTube. So we're going to keep scrolling here. YouTube, this is a health Q&A. Talking about your perks that you take in your freaking Xbox games is like not what we're doing. And I say that every day. I titled the live health Q&A. Not Xbox Q&A, not Percocet Q&A. Q&A, health Q&A. Hi, how are you? Okay, question about PCOS. Your body's creating that response. Your body creates every disease process. Please understand that. Your body creates every disease process. If it didn't, you would probably not be here because it's an adaptation for what's going on. And we need to figure out how to get your body to better adapt so that these things aren't happening. There are inflammatory responses that happen to everyone. Sugar is a huge one with PCOS, insulin regulation, and liver conversion through aromatase. So something like white peony, beautiful flower, by the way, but a great herb for helping out with the menstrual cycle, helping out with the uterus, converting that testosterone down to the estrogens. You also have to make sure that you're clearing that stuff out too through different CYP pathways and pathways that convert hormones down and out of the body. All that's done by the liver. You can do some Sisandra along with that. So white peony, Sisandra, and probably Oregon grape. And if you don't take those things, you're freaking out of your mind because you could probably get very far with doing those couple things. Obviously, getting fiber up is going to be great. Protein up, sugar down. Sugar down needs to come down. Probably doing no sugar for 2 weeks. But yeah, schedule a call, link in bio for all this stuff. If I went too fast, let me know. I'm getting frustrated on a lot of these lives because when people don't take action, holy shit, that drives me nuts, dude. I'm sitting here, people pay thousands of dollars for a care plan, and you guys don't take action on any of these things. And it's like, dude, you know, um, I don't know. I don't know. Aside from the solutions, like, let me see what I could do here, though. Let's see what language we can lead you guys with. Why no? Okay. Okay, kind of relevant. Why no law changes? Dr. Disrespect from Maverick. Actually, that's the ultimate form of love, is actually getting you to push yourself in the best direction so that you make the changes that you need to get the best damn life that you ever had. So coming in here with this is no love fucking bullshit, get the hell out of here, dude. This is pure love. This is why we're here doing this live. This is straight up coming from the heart. Doing this for free, dude. No doctor disrespect. This is doctor leading you to a better life. That's what this is about. So I just like to play on words here. Um, but that's, yeah, it's a poor way to think. Why no law changes? Sorry, we'll tone down the sassiness. Jeez, I got to take some kava or something. Maybe some OSHA. Get some oxytocin. I'm gonna do that live on the stream. Okay. Got some OSHA. Got some kava. I'm gonna be more loving and smiley and give you guys some help. So first is OSHA. Why I'm even doing this is because of the oxytocin. That's really the only reason. Obviously, great effects on blood pressure. Really for dealing with certain microbes in the lung tissue, believe it or not, but great for getting oxytocin to pump out like crazy in the brain. So here's to loving you guys a little bit more, huh? Don't eat much. Tiny, tiny little sip. Literally a half teaspoon. But in liquid form, they work immediately. So to back that up, we get some oxytocin going for some love in the chat. And then we get some kava going. So again, don't need a lot. Tastes terrible though. Summer Kelly back with terrible news. Oh my goodness. Not seeing where to schedule a call, etc. when I click on your profile. Okay, what the heck? So if you click, I need you guys for this because that doesn't make sense at all. Because I've had people from TikTok click on the link. I can check it. So if you click on my profile and you look under my picture, there should be a highlighted website before the videos. In between the videos and my picture, there should be a website. Can we get a couple volunteers to check and see if that's actually working? Because I've been telling people for like a week that the website's been up and rolling, and you can go click on the bio, schedule calls. So if that's not true, please let me know immediately. I'm gonna scroll to the bottom. All I see is join fan club and gallery. What the? Oh, it's probably because it's not a TikTok shop, and TikTok's being a little pissy with me. So, Miss Cherry Blossom, I think I've seen you in here before. How we doing? Um, is that really not working? Who's Summer Kelly? Don't see a website. How is this possible, dude? I have other accounts too, and I've switched to the other accounts and gone into my profile and still seen the website links. So that's concerning. Starts. Anyways. Oh, Nunya, thank you. I was like getting a little worried there for a second. All right, cool. All right, we'll go back to where we were. For the people on YouTube asking what the live is about, read the title of the fucking live, dude. Like, what is wrong with you people? People on YouTube are brain dead, dude. Brain dead chats. Okay. Thank you. You're very welcome. Cool. Bay Victe, thanks for the engagement. Appreciate you. Not seeing our schedule. We parsed that one out. Look like Evan Peters. We had that before. Oh, well, if you don't care, then why are you asking? You asked about what the live was, and then you got mad at me when I told you how to find out. So, hey, I don't know. Ooh, auto translation. I didn't even know I had that on. So if you guys are speaking other languages, that's kind of cool. I asked why you gave people the vaccines. I don't do that ever. I'm against them. What the heck are you talking about? Oh, can I control? That's a little too bright though. I didn't know there were all these other controls here. Ooh, I could do a green screen. That's cool. What else could I do? Ooh, I clicked the wrong button on something. I don't know what happened there. I'm making a whole bunch of. Sorry, I'm playing with the settings now over on freaking this thing. The captain from Shrek. I wish I had my computer here, dude. Your views on India. Health Q&A, bro. Health question and answer. I could give two shits. Capitalist, you swung back and forth like crazy there. Okay, I'm done playing around with these. I don't know. All right, I'll start tending to the comments now because you guys are probably getting moody. I know you guys get so sassy, but can I technically be bald at 16? I would never say never. I would never say never, but there's a lot that has to happen there with conversion steps through the liver, um, stress wise, and some nutritional things. Bilirubin, yes, you got some gallbladder and some liver issues moving toxicity out of the body, and some of your own cells are starting to die in the process. Um, I mean, I need to see your labs, and we got to jump on the phone. You're welcome. I said the last question twice. Can I be a Mrs. Duardo? I no, no. Where else would I go to click on the link so I could schedule appointments? Well, the link should work. I mean, Nunya, she went in there. She saw it. I don't know what's going on there. But Summer Kelly, send me a DM. I'll give you my email and then I'll send you the link through there. I don't know why it's not working, um, but it should be, and it sounds like everybody else is good with it. I've gone on my other accounts, checked it too. So you were ignoring my chat yesterday. Yeah, because it's like pointless comments here. What are the odds of a perfectly healthy man getting prostate? Very low, unless certain things were done to your body. I have Crohn's and celiac, so we need to run a GI test and foods and figure out how to rebuild that GI because you're reacting to barriers that were disrupted, and now you're allowing opportunistic infections to come on in and make home in the belly, and then there's food reactions that happen from that too. So there's a lot from a microbial standpoint that needs to be corrected. Yeah, for Christy, you can do chamomile, albizia, slippery elm. I would even say for just the mucosal barriers there. I would start with those three: chamomile, albizia, and slippery elm. Link is in bio. See if you can click it because Summer Kelly does not think that it's possible. We'll see. Oh, hey, Emma's got some, or Emily has some bloating going down. Very nice, very nice. Hey, she found it. Beautiful. My stuff is actually working. My goodness. Cool. I'm glad you found that. I get pain in my lung. Mm, what's that about? I mean, are you vaping? Okay. Any relevant questions in here? Okay, what is going on in the chats? Is it good to drink herbal teas like cinnamon, lemongrass, chamomile every day? Teas are not going to hurt you at all. Supplements, it's very hard to do something wrong with supplements. They're not medications, they do not force things to happen. Um, People get that confused, but we're all trained that way coming up. It's like, you know, we've been programmed, every one of us. Okay. Any good relevant questions in YouTube? Health questions, guys. I don't care about your opinions. I don't care about politics. I don't care about none of that. I'm not here to explain myself. Here to make people healthier people. So that is my job. That is what I do for a living. That's what I study for 2 hours plus a day for. Um, yeah. How often do I do the lives? Every day. Emily, question about PCOS. So that's a disease process or a syndrome that your body has created, trying to adapt. And it's created that because of an issue with an aromatase enzyme that was messed up from too much sugar in the system. Too much sugar in the system, too many insulin spikes. Some of that can happen from stress. Some of that can happen from eating too much sugar. Some of that can happen from some insufficiencies there that can really damage the effects there. You can do things like promoting stomach acid, something like white peony, convert the excess testosterone down into some of the estrogens, and gymnema, Oregon grape, fantastic for getting the sugar down and out of the system. But I would like to see you do something to help with the other CYP pathways there too, because there may be other conversion issues that may happen further on down the line. Obviously, there can be some adrenal involvement here that I would want to look at, but get your fiber up, get your sugar down, get your protein up, get your body moving. Bum, bum, bum. Probably some sauna can help. Get some excretion through sweat and things. Yeah, yeah, we can definitely jump on a call. I am new. Hello, hello, hello. So many hellos. How we doing, everybody? Nice to meet you. Uh, 6 p.m. Eastern. I mean, I kind of am a little bit sporadic with the timing of the lives. They tend to move around a little bit, so um, you know, it could be 6, it could be 2, it could be 8. There's usually in the afternoon, sometime in the second half of the day. I do upload all of these on the YouTube, so check them out. But yeah, I do other health teachings on there too. Tons of slides, um, research back and everything. People get so hell bent too. They're like, "You're practicing medicine." It's like that would involve a medication or a surgery or something that involves medicine. Um, Homeopathy is not medicine at all. It's just using isolated nutrition and now pairing that with comprehensive labs, and you can understand the individual better than anybody else, which is how I get the results nobody else gets. So if you don't like what I do, keep scrolling. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't change what I do. I'm here to help people. There's every day I get on here and there's people seeing 12 freaking specialists with no results for the past 12 years. And you want me to say, oh, sorry, we can't get your inflammation down. Albesia's, it's just, you got to ask your doctor while you're highly inflamed. I said I was going to get less sassy, so I just can't with the frickin' stupidity sometimes. It's like too much, too much. Okay, what to ask about CKD? Um, what can we do to avoid it? Because nowadays it's rising again. Yeah, I mean, am I most of the victims getting younger? I think there's a lot that you could do for the kidneys. Obviously, hydration is a big piece, and getting electrolytes in, and all those things too. But there are a lot of foods that can help out the kidneys too, enzymatically. Things like cauliflower, cranberries, raspberries, fatty fish. Great things you could do. That'll help with filtration, dilation of kidney, albesia, dilation there as well. Astragalus, more nitric oxide production, repairing of the nephrons within the kidney there too. A corset mushroom, another great one you can do. So, well, yes, but testing's key, man. There's not a magic natural cure. There's not a cure for anything, but um, yeah. Okay, filled out a questionnaire and now have a stamp that I have fibromyalgia and all investigations stopped. Yeah, that's when they don't know what's going on, that's what you get. Um, it's an autoimmune issue. Your immune system's running around like crazy. What is irritating your immune system in, medicine does not believe in. So technically, for the people saying I practice medicine, medicine doesn't even believe in this shit, um, which is pretty ignorant because their patients like this come to us and we help them because fibromyalgia, you have muscle fiber pain. That is the most bullshit diagnosis ever. Why do you have the muscle fiber pain? The diagnosis doesn't tell you anything, anything. Um, you do have to approach this with a look on this like it's an autoimmune thing here. There will be deficiencies, there will be excess or toxicity, you will be inflamed. Um, Early on things, getting certain TNF alpha, NF kappa beta to calm down, COX 1 and 2 inhibition. You can do some cat's claw, some Japanese nutweed, and probably turmeric, maybe even green tea extract. Um, but the testing needs to be done here. That's the long-term game plan needs to be done through testing. Free calls available through the bio, and I would I would start with those couple things there. Obviously, sugar's going to be highly involved. Vitamin D. Um, Certain foods I would probably want you staying away from right now. Anything with gluten, dairy, soy, corn, processed sugars. Until we figure that stuff out, I would want you avoiding some of those things. Can't sleep through the night. I don't know what is happening to me. What question did you ask earlier? Kidney issue. Um, well, what is happening? I I don't know. Um, I would need to know more about you, but you're probably on your phone too much, and that's inhibiting melatonin's conversion, which is what blue light does. So get off your damn phone. It's very cheap and easy to fix that. Um, it's just really hard to do. That's the thing. For the YouTube, it is Dr. Antonio DC. That is my YouTube. I thought I could type stuff in here, but I guess I can't, fortunately. Okay. Okay, we're at the 80-minute mark, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a halftime. Gonna take a little pee break here. We'll be back and swinging after, but I just gotta make sure I make a few calls after the live. Sorry, I'm going over shit in my head. But I'm gonna put where we left off. So the YouTube question we left off on there. Why is health important? I never understood. I guess we can start with that one. You only get one body, and once that thing starts going, you go from having 1,000 problems to having one. So um, you could play that game. You could see what happens. I see it every day. It's pretty scary. It's actually what motivates me. So yeah, fear is very strong. Um, but your body's amazing, and if you can do the right labs, you can get back to normal. Your body created the response in the first place. Hello, hello. Wonderful morning. What the? 7 p.m. Barbie Rock. What's cracking, cuz? Past few weeks. Okay, we'll come back to that one. I'm going to just a little break, and we'll be right back. Okay. Let's see. How could you keep good eyesight, especially while you're aging? I would make sure you're doing a good amount of melatonin every night, along with liver glandular, highest amount of vitamin A that you can get, or you could do cod liver oil. Past few weeks, I can't sleep. I can't complete 8 hours of sleep. I don't know why. I'm going to assume that this is a blood sugar issue correlated with cortisol thing. Olive oil, teaspoon to a tablespoon before bed, plus back up your eating time. Don't do that 4 hours before bed. Make sure you're not on the phone 2 hours before bed. Then some valerian and alcidonia. Maybe you could stack that with melatonin as well, and you'll do very well. But there is back pain, neck pain, numbness, hand and foot. So you can see chiropractor, do some inversion tables, rebounder, vibration plate for nerve endings, pain with that, those kinds of things. You could definitely have a vitamin B1 deficiency. Very common to see. Okay, so send the labs. Yeah, yeah, totally. I am Italian. Good guess. Good guess. I'm 100% Italian, as far as I know. Unless you have gray hair, then they tell you that you have arthritis. Same BS. Um, I That's probably pretty common. I don't do that, but could be very common. Since I have liver failure, oof. Why am I feeling nauseous and sometimes feeling vomiting? Um, Probably because of liver failure. But if this is a serious thing, I would want you to schedule a call immediately. Who's better? I don't know what those names are. Ugh, William James with the fake crap. Hey, you're Italian too. How are you? Okay, I know I said I would be on here for a second half, but we're 90 minutes in. And I was gonna do another hour to be straight up honest with you until I checked how many missed calls I had. So I have a bunch that I have to get to, and then plan all the content for tomorrow and do a bunch of other stuff. So for the people trying to schedule calls, if you click on my name, there's a website in there. Link is in bio. You can either book a free complimentary call or jump right to a new patient appointment. Those are discounted for an hour after each live here. Um, so $200 off that first appointment. And if I mention things that you can pick up in the store there online, totally too. So peace out, my friends. And we will be back here tomorrow doing some more live action.